Learning and Values Questions and Answers the Torah. Torah, Slavery and the Jews, by Tzavi Freeman. Question. My question is about slavery and the Torah. Why did the Torah allow it? It bothers me, though I know there must be some explanation. Answer. Once in a while a question comes along that gets to the core of everything. Then along comes some smart aleck to provide an answer and wash the whole thing away. Questions such as these are not just holes in the ground waiting to be plugged up. They are invitations to spelunk deep beneath the surface, traveling all the way to the bedrock of our beliefs, challenging basic assumptions and redefining the landscape. Your question is one of those bedrock questions, after all. Isn't slavery the antithesis of Torah? Torah begins with the creation of Adam in the divine image. The central event of the Torah narrative is the liberation of an entire nation of slaves from a cruel oppressor. Torah is about liberty, human dignity and respect for our fellow citizens of this planet, for which the Creator cares so much. More than Torah is man's discovery of GD. Torah is GD's discovery of man and his world. How can that same Torah that makes us kind permit oppressive labor of a fellow divine image? You'll note, too, that as soon as the 10 Commandments are done with, where does the Torah begin legislating? If you will have a maidservant, with the rights of the most easily oppressed citizen, a young girl working in your home, let me point out another powerful weapon of social upheaval that the Torah espouses. Especially through the medium of King David's collection of Psalms, the divine CEO open door policy, aka personal prayer. Any individual, indeed any living creature, can at any moment, for any complaint, cry out to the Master of the universe and his heart's petition will be heard and acted upon. Guaranteed. This poor man cries out and GD listens. You may not have thought about this, but those may just be the most radical, subversive and revolutionary words in history. Whereas the kings and priests of old would have their subjects believe that life is a grand chain of command with yours truly on top and you scum on the bottom, this idea of personal prayer flattened all hierarchies. Everyone is equally close to the top of the ladder. Torah is not just about liberty. Torah liberates in a radical way. Yet here you have these laws about buying and selling slaves. What's going on? Okay, they're not really slaves. Slaves are people owned by other people. In Torah law, you never have complete ownership over anything. These slaves rest on the seventh day and Jewish holidays, cannot be physically or sexually abused and are obligated in many mitzvot. So they are really more like indentured servants, but that certainly does not answer our question. Why should any human being be deprived of rights and privileges that others have? Such as the right to live wherever they please, work for whoever they wish to work and quit whenever they want? How does this divvy up with the Torah's assertion that every human being bears the divine image? Maimonides, yes, there's tension here, and as every good dramatist and massage therapist knows, tension is a good point to play with. The place we are going to start is Maimonides' laws of servants. Being the reckless, impatient souls that we are, we'll start from the very last words. You may ask, why the obsession with Maimonides? Is he the only authority on everything? No, he's not. But he's usually a great place to search for answers. Maimonides wrote the only codification of the entire gamut of Jewish law. The Mishnah only includes those matters that were not common practice and could come to be forgotten. And the Shulchan Aruch includes only those matters that apply in the time of exile. And he wrote in a concise style with great precision. Sure, he hit up against lots of controversy for a few hundred years. But eventually he was accepted as the foremost authority since the close of the Babylonian Talmud. So here goes. It is permissible to work an un-Jewish servant harshly. Yet, although this is the law, the way of the pious and the wise is to be compassionate and to pursue justice, not to overburden or oppress a servant, and to provide them from every dish and every drink. The early sages would give their servants from every dish on their table. They would feed their animals and their servants before sitting to their own meals. Does it not say, Psalms 123:2, as the eyes of the servant to the hand of his master, as the eyes of the maid to her mistress, so our eyes are towards the LRDRGD, so, too, you should not denigrate a servant, neither physically nor verbally. The Torah made him your servant to do work, not to be disgraced. Do not treat him with constant screaming and anger, rather speak with him pleasantly and listen to his complaints. Such were the good ways in which Job took pride when he said, Did I ever despise the judgment of my servant and my maid when they argued with me? Did not my Maker make him, too, in the belly? Did not the same one form us both in the womb? For anger and cruelty are only found among other nations. The children of Abraham, our father, and they are Israel, to whom the Holy One, blessed be He, has provided the goodness of Torah and commanded us righteous judgments and statutes. They are compassionate to all. This is one of the attributes of the Holy One, blessed be He, that we are commanded to emulate. Psalms 145:9. And He has compassion for all He has made. Furthermore, all who have compassion will be treated compassionately, as was stated, Deuteronomy 13:18. He will give you compassion, and He will have compassion upon you and multiply you. Mishnah Torah, Laws of Indentured Servants, 9:8. Tightening the screws. Reading superficially, you might imagine that Maimonides is presenting us with little more than apologetics. He seems to be saying, the Torah says we can be real mean, but that's not nice, so we don't do that. But I'm asking you to read his words a little more carefully. Look for the tension in those words. Tension is meaningful. Tension indicates something deep going on. Here you have the Torah telling you to be kind and compassionate towards all God's creatures. And this is not just a polite suggestion. This is a command, and you shall go in his ways. Deuteronomy 28:9. Is it possible to say such a thing? Rather, it means that since he is compassionate, you too must be compassionate. Since he is kind, you must also be kind. Since he dresses the naked and feeds the hungry, so must you.